Thanks for joining us on 6 Plus. I'm Bailey Bates. Here's what's in the news now. Police have identified the teacher charged with sexually assaulting a middle school girl. According to Coppers Cove ISD, Lawrence Varela Halbert has been the band director at Coppers Cove High School since 2023. Before that, he taught music at SC Lee Junior High for 8 years. Police say back in 2021, he sexually assaulted a female student in his home. Cove ISD heard about it in October and put him on leave. Police didn't get that report until November, and they arrested him on Thursday. Now on Friday, a judge arraigned him on 3 counts of sexual assault and set his bail at $150,000. The hospital has released the officer and person who were injured during Wednesday's police chase in Temple. Temple PD told us they're, quote, both doing well. According to Temple Police Department, 22-year-old Matthew Young could be charged with aggravated assault of a public servant and evading arrest. Police say he hurt one person and dragged a police officer with his car. After that, he led police on a car chase. A helicopter later spotted him hiding in the woods between Industrial Boulevard and HK Dodgen Loop. Right now, he is in the Bell County Jail. A chaotic scene unfolded in Belton Wednesday when a police chase ended in a woman's front yard. 6 News anchor Adriana Alexander has footage from the homeowner's surveillance camera as she found herself in the middle of all the action.
Oh, I was terrified. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what if they would have hit my house?
It was around 8 a.m. Wednesday when authorities spotted a Hamilton County stolen car at the Belton Walmart. The driver of that car led police on a chase through Main Street in Belton and made an unexpected stop in front of Ely Gaines' home just before taking her daughter to school.
We're thinking just, police officers going up and down 6th Street because it's busy. Needless to say, she opened the door to get ready to walk out and get in her car, and we see police everywhere and a car backing up in the in the yard.
Gaines shared her home's camera footage on social media, turning her yard's chaos into a viral sensation.
You have to see this. It was like a movie. I couldn't believe it was going on. I was like, am I in the middle of First 48? Like, what's going on?
The aftermath did put a small damper on the Christmas decor.
There's no blowing Frosty back up. Him and his family are gone.
But no one inside the home was hurt, and that's what Gaines is grateful for. After this wild incident, Gaines has some words to share.
Check on your people. That's all I have to say. Check on your people. Make sure they're okay. You never know what somebody's going through. And unfortunately, he went through that, and he's probably going to end up doing a lot of time.
Adriana Alexander, 6 News.
Just glad everyone is okay there. Belton police report that the Texas DPS, Bell County Sheriff's Office, and the Constable's Office helped arrest that driver. He is now in custody and facing multiple charges. In Houston, a man is fighting back after ICE suddenly deported his wife and their 4 kids. Federico Arellano is a U.S. citizen, and he says he and his wife asked to reschedule a court appearance because she was recovering from surgery after giving birth to their twins. He says over the phone, immigration officials told them that the hearing would be postponed, but when they went to meet with officials last week, they were separated. ICE immediately put Arellano's wife, twin babies, and 2 other children on a plane to Mexico.
This case shouldn't have gone to this extreme. There were options, legal options that were available, and he was not given that opportunity.
Arellano's lawyer plans to file a complaint with the Office of Inspector General. ICE said the family missed their hearing. Our news partners also reached out to the Justice Department's Executive Office for Immigration Review. They decide if a non-citizen is subject to removal or eligible for relief from removal. That office has yet to respond. We're less than a month away from the 89th Texas legislative session, and now the Texas GOP is targeting its own members to lock down the race for House Speaker. House Republicans are split between 2 Speaker candidates. The GOP is throwing its support behind Representative David Cook. To make sure he gets in office, though, the party is threatening to censor any Republican representatives who don't vote for Cook. In theory, that would keep those lawmakers from running in Republican primaries for 2 years. But according to Dr. Joshua Blank with the Texas Politics Project, it's going to be tough to enforce that rule.
The state Republican Party isn't entirely sure whether it's able to do this itself, because right after the rule that's passed by the party that would allow it to prohibit members from running in their primaries, it also says that it will cover the legal expenses of anybody who implements this, which indicates that they know that it's likely that this is not something that the state or U.S. constitutions will allow.
The start of the new session is January 14th. The battle over marijuana access is raging across the state and the country. Now in Texas, both sides are pushing bills for the upcoming legislative session. Victor Jacobo talked to one Texas official about how these bills could impact our health and the health of our children.
Currently, 24 states in the U.S. have fully legalized recreational marijuana, while there are another 4 states where all marijuana is illegal. But the rest, like Texas, have a hodgepodge of different laws. Here in the Lone Star State, there is limited medical use allowed for those with certain health conditions. Delta 8 and Delta 9 products, which are derived from cannabis plants and have low amounts of THC, are legal. But now Representative Jessica Gonzalez of Dallas wants to change that with a bill to legalize recreational marijuana entirely. The bill would allow people over the age of 21 to possess, use, and transport up to 2.5 ounces for personal use, as well as allowing adults to keep 10 ounces if stored securely. Her bill was filed before Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick announced legislation to ban the sale of all THC products in the state, citing alleged sales of dangerous levels of THC in the state.
It's not that we're allowing high THC marijuana. It's the synthetics. It's the get around in the law. Is how they're doing it.
Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller says he agrees with the efforts to protect consumers and children from certain high THC products, but
I want to be cautious and make sure that we don't go too far.
Miller says public support for low THC products is strong, especially for medical use. And while recreational use is not something he supports now, Miller says he does want to see the legislature consider expanding medical use in the state.
The way it's happened in the past, they'll add 1 or 2 ailments. Next, they'll wait 2 years, come back, add 2 or 3 more ailments. What I would like to see is just leave that up to the doctor, between the doctor and his patient.
We're just going to have to wait and see what happens with that. Right now, cities across Texas are working to decriminalize marijuana possession. Attorney General Ken Paxton has sued 5 cities after they passed policies limiting marijuana enforcement. The former business manager of an old folks' home is behind bars, and police are accusing her of taking nearly $2 million from elderly residents and their loved ones. Here's Cole Sullivan.
At this retirement community near White Rock Lake, an arrest does not erase the feeling they've been duped.
I guess you feel betrayed by the people you're supposed to trust.
Molly Terry's mom lives at Autumn Leaves, but for months she's played more detective than visitor here, trying to figure out what happened to rent checks residents say they wrote, but the company says it never got. The key, she says, was the LLC the now former business manager told people to make their checks out to.
They wouldn't know any different because she's the business manager, so they were writing their checks to her LLC.
And was the money going to Autumn Leaves?
Not at all.
Where was it going?
Yeah, directly into her bank account.
A new arrest warrant affidavit says Diane Dancer deposited checks and money orders written on or on behalf of 102 Autumn Leaves residents to her own accounts. Police say over more than 5 years, she deposited more than $1.8 million.
It's just so horrible to do that to people.
Police arrested Diane Dancer Friday. Record shows she's booked on a $100,000 bond for a theft charge. She hasn't worked here since Autumn Leaves found out about all this.
In a statement, the company says it's working with detectives and, quote, Miss Dancer's actions are not reflective of our community's culture or values. The folks living here did not have to make up the money, but Terry says she still has questions about how this could happen.
Why it took me to find it rather than the people who work here.
Friday's arrest, she says, is just one step toward closure. In Dallas, I'm Cole Sullivan.
You can understand the frustration so many of those families have, and Autumn Leaves does say residents will not have to repay the stolen rent money. Well, up next, meteorologist Aviana Smith has your Weather 101. But thanks for watching. In the news, I'm Bailey Bates.
We are making it rain. But before we make it rain, we're going to break down the different types of precip as well as rain coverage lingo. So what does that mean? Now, typically, you all are used to seeing a graphic like this, talking about the next chances of rain as we step through the week. Rain chances range from about 0 up to 100%. But normally you hear about a 20% chance of rain on your Thursday, a 40% chance of rain on Tuesday, and maybe even a 70% chance of rain on Monday. So does that mean it's going to rain 70% of the day? Sadly, that is not the case. So here's the breakdown. When we're talking about rain coverage, that means our entire viewing area. So we cover all of Central Texas and into the Brazos Valley. So most of the time you hear us say words like isolated, scattered, or widespread rainfall. So when we're talking more isolated coverage, we're talking about a 20% chance or less. So that means at least 20% of the entire viewing area could see a chance for some rainfall. Doesn't mean everyone, but we're going to hang on to that 20% when we're talking about isolated coverage. Now, when we get into scattered coverage, it ranges between about 40 to 60%. Now, more people have a greater chance of seeing rain outside of their front door. But again, it still doesn't include everyone. But you could be in that 40% and your neighbor across the street may not be. Now, when we're talking about widespread rainfall, it's more of a 80% chance or greater. So at that point, almost everyone in our viewing area can expect rain outside their front door on that day. But again, most of us and all of us need to carry our umbrellas, whether we're talking about an isolated chance for rain or a widespread chance for rain, because again, those showers could be outside your front door. And even with isolated activity, heavy downpours are possible, including the chance for scattered showers or thunderstorms. So always have your rain gear handy. And we mostly talk about rain, but there are different types of precipitation. But all types of precipitation do start with cold cloud tops at about 20,000 feet in the air. Now for rain, it's met with warm air all the way down to the surface, and that's how we see rain, because we have these ice crystals in the clouds at these cold levels, but they do melt when they meet warm air. So once it melts and then refreezes on contact at the surface, that's how you get freezing rain. So again, back to the cold cloud tops, warm air, it melts and then refreezes as it heads towards the surface is how you get sleet. So we have all these different types of precipitation because we have warm and cold air mixing in the upper levels. And for snow, that means you have cold air all the way from the cloud tops down to the surface is how you get snow. But I told you before, we're going to make it rain. So now let's make it rain. And we actually are going to make it rain. Of course, we're not going to go outside and conjure up some clouds and make the rain fall down, but we can make rain if you are stuck at home on a rainy day. This would be a cool project to do with your kids, and you only need a few simple items. One is food coloring, whatever color that you may choose. You can get you some blue here. That's what I got to represent my rain. Some shaving cream here. Just a generic dollar store brand is fine. And of course, you need a clear bucket filled with water. Now, the idea is you take the shaving cream and it is your cloud. So the shaving cream is going to represent your cloud. And of course, once you're doing this project with your kids, make sure that you're monitoring them because shaving cream can look like whipped cream. So you're going to give it a good shake and apply it to the top of your water. Bear with me here till we get our shaving cream out to form our cloud. And you can make your cloud as big or as small as you would like it to be, but you got to get enough on there so when you put your rain in, it will form through. So we're going to make us a big cloud here. Again, we're making it rain. Get your cloud as big as you would like it. And once it's to your desired size, you take your food coloring at that time and you just add a few drops right on top of your shaving cream. And then you wait for the process to make it rain, because when it rains, the clouds are filled with water molecules, and once those water molecules get very heavy, they fall to the ground, and you can already see the rain beginning to form. We're going to lift it up just a little bit, and you see the rain coming down. So just something fun and easy and quick to do at home with the kids on a boring rainy day. It doesn't take much time at all. Again, your few simple ingredients include your food coloring, some shaving cream, a clear bucket filled with water, and you can have fun and make all the rain that you can. And there you have it. We have made it rain. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of 6 News Weather Impact 101. You can ask us any questions about anything you want to see, any weather lingo you want us to break down. Just text it to our phone number at 254-777-6000, and we'll be happy to answer any questions and have your Weather Impact 101 on the way. Until next time.